There is a weariness that sleep cannot cure, a weight that doesn't live in the body but in the soul. It's the weight of someone walking without direction, of someone who wakes up every day inside a life they never chose, or one they chose out of fear, out of haste, out of pressure. Have you ever felt that feeling that the days just repeat themselves, that time passes, but you don't move? If the answer is yes, take a deep breath, because this video isn't about productivity. It's not about bold goals or radical overnight transformations. This video is about the quiet moment that happens before everything changes, the instant when something inside you says, enough. I deserve more than this. I deserve something different. Every great change begins with a small decision that the heart already made before the mind caught on. Over the next few minutes, we're going to walk together through 7 principles about what truly happens when you make a decision that changes your life. These aren't formulas. They're truths you may already feel, but haven't yet put into words. Stay until the end. There's a message waiting there that might be exactly what you need to hear today. The decision doesn't start with action. It starts with pain. Nobody changes their life on a beautiful day. The truth is that most life-changing decisions are born in an uncomfortable place, from a night when the tears came for no apparent reason, from a morning when the mirror reflected a face far too tired for the age behind it. And that is not weakness. That is the intelligence of the soul. Pain is the language life uses when words are no longer enough. When you ignore the subtle signs, the universe speaks louder. And when it speaks louder, it hurts. If you're going through a difficult time right now, pay attention. Maybe this discomfort isn't the end. Maybe it's the beginning. The seed has to crack open to sprout. The caterpillar has to come undone to fly. And you need to feel the weight of what no longer serves you in order to find the courage to let it go. The pain you feel is not punishment. It is the invitation your life is sending so that you'll finally listen. Simple action. Today, instead of running from the discomfort, sit with it for 5 minutes. Ask in silence, what are you trying to tell me? Don't search for the answer, just listen. To decide is to lose something, and that's okay. The word decide comes from the Latin decidere, which means to cut. Every decision is a small death. It's the funeral of a version of you that could have been, but that you chose not to be. And that's exactly why deciding is so frightening. Because the human mind isn't afraid of change itself. It's afraid of loss. It's afraid of choosing the wrong path. It's afraid of regret. But here's what nobody tells you. Not deciding is also a decision, and it tends to be the most expensive one of all. Because when you don't decide, life decides for you, and it rarely chooses what's best for your soul. You don't need certainty to decide. You need the courage to accept that every choice carries a loss. Simple action. Think of something you've been putting off. Write on a piece of paper, I choose to let go of so that I can receive. Leave that sentence somewhere you'll see it tomorrow. The fear won't go away. You learn to walk with it. One of the greatest illusions of the modern world is the idea that courageous people don't feel fear. They do. Every single one of them does. The difference is that they stopped waiting for the fear to leave before they started moving. They understood that fear isn't a roadblock. It's a traveling companion, and that more often than not it shows up at the very doors worth walking through. If a decision doesn't scare you even a little, maybe it's too small to change anything. The decisions that transform lives are the ones that make your heart race and your inner voice whisper, I don't know if I can do this. And it's in that exact moment, that instant of absolute doubt, that your greatness is waiting. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something matters more than the fear itself. Simple action. When you feel afraid of something you know is right, place your hand on your chest and say quietly, I hear you, but I'm going anyway. Repeat it 3 times. Then take the first step. The chaos that follows isn't a mistake. It's movement. Something nobody prepares you for is what happens right after a major decision, because it's almost never pretty. When you decide to change jobs, the first few months can be filled with insecurity. When you decide to leave a relationship that no longer serves you, the loneliness can hurt more than the company ever did. When you decide to change your habits, your body and mind resist with everything they've got. And that's the point where most people give up, because they mistake discomfort for failure, because they believe that if the decision were right, the path would be smooth. But think about nature. Before spring, there is winter. Before sunrise, there is total darkness. Chaos isn't the opposite of order. It's what comes before it. Don't mistake the storm for the shipwreck. Sometimes the sky goes dark because the rain you needed has finally decided to fall. Simple action. Write on a small note the words, "This is a passage, not a destination." Whenever the chaos feels like too much, read that sentence. The discomfort is temporary, but the courage that brought you here is permanent. The people around you will react, and not always with support. When you change, the world around you trembles, because your transformation becomes a mirror for those who stayed still. And mirrors sometimes make people uncomfortable. There will be people who doubt you, who laugh, who say it's just a phase, who try to pull you back to where you were because your presence there was comfortable for them. And it will hurt, because many of those people are the ones you love. But understand this, the people who truly love you will adjust to your evolution. It might take time, there might be friction, but real love doesn't demand that you shrink to fit. It grows alongside you. And the relationships that don't survive your change, they were never yours. They belong to the person you were pretending to be. Don't dim your flight so that no one feels uncomfortable with the height you've reached. Simple action. Think of one person who genuinely supports you and send them a message of gratitude today. That's it. Strengthen the bonds that sustain your growth. Discipline is born after the decision, not before. So many people believe they need discipline before they can change. That willpower comes first and action follows, but it works the other way around. Discipline isn't the fuel, it's the fruit. It's born from repetition. And repetition is born from a single decision made with honesty. You don't need motivation to start. You need a commitment so small it would be ridiculous not to follow through. Want to read more? Read 1 page a day. Want to exercise? Do 5 minutes. Want to meditate? Take 3 slow breaths with your eyes closed before bed. Small rituals heal great weariness. And it's in the tiniest gestures that transformation hides. Excess screams. What truly matters, whispers. Don't try to change everything. Change one thing with truth. Simple action. Choose a micro-habit that takes less than 2 minutes. Just one. And make it your sacred ritual for the next 7 nights. Not out of obligation. Out of respect for the person you're becoming. The new life doesn't arrive ready-made. You build it as you walk. There's a dangerous fantasy that life-changing decisions produce instant results. That you decide, and the very next day you're already living the life of your dreams. That's not how it works. The new life doesn't come in a package. It arrives in crumbs, in a smile that returns for no reason, in a morning when you wake up and realize that knot in your chest is gone, in an evening when the silence of your home feels like peace, not loneliness. The building is slow. It's made of days when nothing seems to change. But it does. It changes on the inside where the eyes can't reach. It changes in the way you look at yourself, in the tone of your voice when you say no, in the calm with which you accept what you cannot control. You won't notice the exact moment your life changed. One day you'll look back and realize that small decision, the one that felt insufficient, was the turning point all along. Your inner home is your temple. Every conscious decision is a candle you light within it. Even if the world outside is dark, inside you there is light. Simple action. Before you go to sleep, close your eyes and ask yourself, did I move closer to or further from the person I want to be? No judgment, no guilt, just awareness. That gesture, repeated, is what separates those who dream from those who build. If you've made it this far, there's something I need to tell you with all the sincerity this moment allows. You deserve peace. Not when you have enough money. Not when you find the right person. Not when the world finally recognizes your worth. Now. You deserve peace right now. And peace is not something you find out there. It's something you choose to cultivate in here. With small choices. With quiet gestures. With the courage to say yes to what nourishes you and no to what drains you. The decision that changes your life doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as watching this video to the end and thinking, I want to begin. So here's my invitation. Of the 7 principles you just heard, choose only one. The one that touched your heart the most. The one that made you pause for a second and think, that one's for me. Write that principle somewhere visible and follow through on the simple action that goes with it. Not tomorrow. Today. Because today is the only day you can begin. You don't have to change the whole world. You just have to change the next step. And the next step is now. If this video made sense to you, leave your heart down below. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And subscribe to this channel, because every week I bring reflections like this one, made for those who seek to live with more awareness, lightness, and purpose. Take care of yourself. The world needs people who have already decided to be whole.